Well, there were a lot of breakdowns. Our inability to contain one-on-one was a piece of that. Some of it was in transition. A little bit of confusion, in the volume and pairings they used in pick and rolls, which allowed them to turn the corner, get downhill. But in general, that first quarter, more so first half, I don't think we had the right mindset. We looked a little sluggish. You could argue, long trip, this, that, and the other, and no excuse. We've got to do better with our just our energy, our approach, and they kind of outplayed us in a lot of areas in that first half.
How kind of discombobulating was their defense, just how energetic they were?
Well, it's part of it. But we know that they are very active, very physical. They thrive off turning teams over. Talked about it pregame. They turned us over 19 times for 26 points in the first meeting. We, give up, I think, 20 turnovers for 32 points in this night. So our spacing was poor. I thought we were selfish at times in that first half, and it showed. We really struggled to get things going.
Just how significant was the energy discrepancy that you saw, particularly in the first half?
Well, the proof is in the in those numbers. A lot of the 50-50 balls, the offensive rebounds. Those plays they got nothing to do with scheme. It's just a little bit of want, having awareness, but you got to dig deep and find it. Find a way to create your own juice, your own energy, just to get out there and compete at a high level.
Did you enter the game with your preliminary sub-plan intending to play Jordan in the second quarter, or was that a response to what you were seeing out there in terms of?
Yeah, more so a response. It's tough to play 10, 11 guys, so you kind of go in thinking it'll go one way, but you have to make adjustments. Not only schematically, but who's out there, who can bring a little bit more energy, a little bit more purpose to what we're doing. And he had good stretches. I thought Will had a good window. At that point, you're just trying to find a way to claw back in it.
Rui has been solid from the bench in terms of rebounding and scoring, but today he had no rebound for the first time this season, and then single digits.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that happened in terms of his performance and also the Thunder's defense?
I think he got a little sideways. They got the quick 2 fouls, and I think that kind of bothered him, took him out of the game a little bit. But that whole, probably your top 7 were really struggling. So that's why I used Jordan Goodwin, went to Will Barton, just a different look, and he wasn't alone. I thought that our heavy minute guys have looked a little tired, looked a little lacking as far as the energy. So it wasn't just him, but I think in general, finding a group that was going to compete and did a better job across the board in that second half, but at that point the game's out of reach. You cut it to 14, 12, 14, whatever it is, but you're going to run out of time. Our approach to start the game kind of put us at such a deficit. You never want to start the first half that way.
Once you guys have kind of spoken about making up ground over this stretch, really where you're healthy, how nice it will be now to have a nice stretch at home after a lot on the road.
Yeah, it's good to get home and hopefully get rested, refocus. We've played well at home at times, so that's of some comfort. But it still boils down to our approach to each game, regardless of who we're playing. We got to come out with the right mindset, whether home or road. And I know this is tough. We've been on the road quite a bit. I think 21 of the last 25 days. So it's been a lot, but it's the nature of the league, and it's everyone has to go through it. So. Hopefully we can put this one behind us, turn the page, and get back and get right.
What did you see in the second half after the approach improved? What did you see with your team's defensive glass? Certainly there were some balls there that they got that were backbreakers.
Yeah.
The possibility of coming up with a run.
Well, that's part of it, but it's also what they do. They're top 3 or 4 in loose balls recovered. So it's, those energy type plays we talked about before the game, we're trying to avoid those, taking away certain strengths. Obviously Shai's really good at doing what he does. We're not always going to be able to keep him in front, keep him out of the paint. Can we minimize it? Can we minimize those 50-50 balls? Can you minimize the coverage mistakes? That's the thought pattern when you go into a situation like this. But we got to find a way to come up with them, because those are backbreakers. You play solid defense, you defend for 20+ seconds, and you don't come up with the defensive rebound. Emotionally, it's tough, but also now you got to expend even more energy to get another stop.
I wanted to take some responsibility that Gaff and myself, we didn't set the tone defensively from the beginning, and it was kind of, it was what it was on both ends, but especially defensively, we just didn't set the tone, and so that was the thing that was on my mind, and wanted to say. So tough game. Obviously, they play aggressive, they play fast, and they were just picking us apart and making shots, and things were going for them, and we were playing uphill from the beginning of the game. So tough one.
How much did their defense knock you guys off? Obviously, you're saying you didn't set the tone, but they're all energy all the time.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were running around, they were switching. They were just more aggressive, more energetic than us, and they play that way. Obviously, we're not that type of team like they do, with all the young guys running around. But and they're capable of. I don't know. The other night they scored on 150 on Boston, right? Tonight again they had a big offensive game. They're capable of doing that, so it's no surprise. It's not like this happened out of nowhere. So it's they're building something. They're building something interesting, in my opinion. They are building like a fun, hard to guard way of playing, in my opinion, and yeah, I like what they're doing.
If you are taking responsibility and you and Gaff didn't set the tone, why do you feel like you guys just didn't play with that energy from the start tonight? Do you have a reason, or just didn't happen?
Some games you start the game a little bit slow, and then you kind of settle into the game, and you know what's the rhythm, and it didn't happen tonight like that with these guys. They came out like that, and we came kind of, okay, last game on the road, we'll be heading home after this, and cannot come out with that kind of mindset, so against a young, hungry team like that, and we got our ass kicked today.
What does it mean for you to get home for most of the month of January?
That will be big. I think you guys have been with us on the road, right, most of the time. So I think it will be good to get home, have a little home stretch, eat some consistent food, and just enjoy playing in front of our fans and have that energy on our side.